Thank you for joining us. Here on the I'm Ultimate stream, we have Germany versus Colombia, Colombia in yellow. And these are the open teams facing off. A big match here on center field. And a great pull. Just gonna adjust our camera here a little bit. Next gen stream finishing a few minutes ago. Zone coming down, or actually it's still in man. But no, it's actually a zone. It's a little bit of a junk, as we call it, where you have 5 men downfield and then just poaching in bit by bit. But you have a mismatch forward ahead of the disc, and you allow resets but continually push back as possible. It can be a very smart zone. And the first turn created by Colombia. Now the question's going to be whether they can punch it in before celebrating. And celebration's over, and they're moving it now. Looking over the top, and Colombia break to start, going downwind. And the score, 1-0. And a strong start from Colombia right there. That was a very good zone. As you can see, the throw was attempted amongst or between 3 players. If you're watching on the stream, let me know if everything's okay. I do believe everything is fine. Thank you to all those who have donated. It's very much appreciated. Anything donated will go towards a number of things, including bandwidth. And probably more importantly, will also go towards improving our equipment here bit by bit. Thank you for tuning in. This is an important game here in pool play. Not necessarily a close crossover. Very different programs amongst the two. If you can hear me on the stream, you might be able to hear the wind and the disc falling out of bounds. Will need to be left where it is. Break being taken. Good evening if you are joining us from Germany. Good afternoon if you're joining us from Colombia. This same zone, as you can see, it's actually 3 up front to the 4 handlers. Intentional mismatch. Leaves an extra player there in the middle from Colombia's zone. And that's shutting down everything pretty much. Now we haven't seen hard marks from Colombia, and in the previous game between Japan women and Colombian women, it started to become a bit of a grind towards the end because the Colombian women were hacking constantly, and the Japanese women simply weren't calling it. So a lot of hacking from the Colombian women. Later on in the game, they did start calling it, and the game became a grind. Something that doesn't really happen in North American Ultimate as much. Still does, but depends if the game's being observed or not. Not much movement upfield, but steady movement by the Germans going downwind. They can't afford to be broken again. Oh, that's a good pass. Oh. Reset again. Now going to a man. Collapsing hammer over the top, a little bit bladey, but a good game and pass from Germany. So in the game preceding this one on NGN, we had Japan winning in a close game against Colombia. Thank you to Rose, letting me know that the stream sounds good. DMB Ultimate Frisbee from Germany. Danke. I believe we did meet as well. And I look forward to meeting again. My schedule for next year, presently, unfortunately for this year, my only remaining international or large tournaments are Canadian Nationals coming up in 3 weeks, and then US Club Nationals, which will be in October. But next year, I'm planning being at Worlds and also at Paganello. We'll see what else it brings. Germans now with a zone as well. Ooh, and a nice break towards the middle of the field, but that's for position. It's back to a man. We've heard quite a bit about the Colombian handlers. And good pressure from the Germans. Upfield, there isn't much movement. You can see, oh, and a good in-cut D. Just running through. Oh, pretty, very pretty. That is a beautiful flick break, and the Germans get their break back. It's now 2-1 Germany leads, and we're back to no breaks for either side. The upfield pressure there on man by Germany, excellent. You can see in the future when we get electronic lines on the field, we might be able to show you gains on per throw. And that was kept back from where the pole was taken. Colombia now moving into the wind. The wind has become much more gentle. If you joined us for the morning broadcast, it was, I believe, probably anywhere between 20 to 40 kilometers an hour with gusts up to 40. We're now looking at a much more reasonable wind speed of 17 kilometers an hour, and it's dropping. Humidity is at 49% and it's rising. We expect tomorrow to be a warm day. Tomorrow should range to a high of 23, but much more humid. It'll feel like it's in the 30s. Friday will be hot as well. Big pull. And we're gonna see if it's coming back. And oh, beautiful. That is by far one of the best pulls of the tournament. There's Germans also electing to keep one free, easily taken. The speed in open allows for different throws and allows you to make really, in many cases, sloppier throws. More out to space pick called. Over. I think this is as good a time as any to chat about it, and I'll chat about it a little bit later as well. Open is by far the most athletic and fastest in terms of games. It also means that you can make those throws, the ones that are to space, that are leading, because speed allows you to make up for some issues. And that is in. Looks to be in. Well, there's actually some folks from Germany calling it in, some calling it out. Germans decide on it being in. 2-2. Colombia with good movement upfield. And it ranged over the entire side of the first half of the field going left, right, and then finally working up on the right-hand side up the field, on the force side, into the end zone and towed in. My assistant yesterday, Rose, not here for the remaining days, so I am now flying solo. She helped out quite a bit though. Could not have gotten through the first few days through that rainstorm we had yesterday, a sudden one actually. The wind, the cold, the heat, the drops of the feed, all of that without her being around. Today though, flying solo. I'm standing up here on the top with the camera and commentating. And about 20 feet below me, the scoreboard and everything else like that. We see that Colombian zone again. Again, steady progress, but the Colombians making the Germans throw quite a few, and maybe one or two tricky passes here and there. I had the opportunity to host a game between the German Open team and some of the local teams here. There's some very close games. Looking for a reset. This one's a risky one. And there's another turn. It's a dangerous there on the line. And upfield movement stopped happening. And there's a really short vertical stack here, compressed as well. But quick movement out of the stack. Oh, and recovered. Needed to be caught or knocked down, but nothing doing. Good pressure again. And to the front of the end zone. And just a little bit of a mismatch there in speed. German player had the height, but couldn't get off as quickly. Microphone picking up the German cheer. It's a quick team. As we saw from their D-line, they have many short handlers, many tall handlers. The Colombians much more even in height on this squad. And they all move in a very similar manner as well, very quick, able to make those adjustments. We'll see if they have the vertical. We saw in the previous game from this morning when Colombia played, they had some incredible sky battles with Australia where they won almost every single one. This pole going to be coming from gusty wind situation here. confident. It's it floating. Just enough. Yes. And the German D will get a chance to go and even it out. The 3-3. Germany moving it well down the field and putting it to space with a huck that stayed up and floated. It looked like it might have been a bit low, but these German players definitely showing us a quick moving game along with the Colombians, and probably the fastest moving game we've had today. I hope that it does not turn into a battle of who knows the rules better, or who wants to call the most, or who wants to take advantage of the most. So far, it's looking really good though. The German team, coming from one of the strongest ultimate countries in Europe. Those typically are Great Britain, Germany, Sweden, but it's hard to say because each division has such strong teams, such good chemistry, and it seems to shift over Europe. Straight up mark. Oh, and a fantastic D again. And right back. Travel called. It's a play on being called. There's some discussion. And it's a turnover. This comes in, German D now. Oh, that's close. This Colombian offense playing very well. Wants to put it. And we do. We're going to have a little bit of battle in the air. No call. And that one was a little bit underthrown. Easy for the Colombian defender. He's clearing out of the way now. Huck. Floaty Blady. Well read. And the end zone also floating again. And the Colombian offense hangs on. We might be having some stream issues here. We're going to be double checking on them. Actually, it looks pretty good. So tomorrow will be an interesting day. We're streaming 5 games in a row starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The games have been selected. There's one unknown. It's going to be a mixed pool crossover, but otherwise I believe we are doing 2 open and 2 women's games. I've had that discussion with Ian Brooks, one of the tournament directors, our co-directors, along with Jason Robinson here for Toronto Ultimate Club. And going to be looking forward to seeing, I think the schedule is an interesting one. We haven't deviated too much from expectations. No hot called from the sideline. Again, but the zone now, it is matched up evenly, upfield and downfield. Cutters are going to, well read by the defender. And indeed, right back. Underthrown perhaps on the break. The players need to be a bit more decisive. And it's being called all the way back up the field. And Colombia on the verge of another break. And it's a strong start by them. These open teams here not as affected by the wind. Lots of pressure underneath, but there's a call. It's going to go back. Apparently there was a collision in the midfield. And a foul called, defensive foul. Violation. And another call. Oh, and there's a close battle there. Good fast running. Some sort of contact. Or, yep, it's coming in at 0. Foul on the disc, on the mark. We're going to reset. And Colombia break again. 5-3 they now lead. And Colombia's zone up front, very tight, but good amount of space. I don't think it's double team. And they're just reading the disc very well. Game's being watched a little bit by Ian Brooks as well, one of the tournament directors. He's taking a quick break from his hectic schedule. They don't have much free time. This tournament presented to you by Toronto Ultimate Club. And it is quite a big tournament to organize, get all the players, divisions. There's, I believe, 6 co-directors in all the different areas, working on communication, Twitter, media. I'm part of the media group here to broadcast these games. I've played in the Toronto system. I actually live just a little bit from here, about an hour from here. So it's a good drive in, about 120 kilometers. Played in the Toronto system, played with many players. In fact, many of the players on the Canadian team and some of the players on the American team. And I think some of the players on the French and Italian teams as well. And the New Zealand team. Yeah, I've played around the world quite a bit. Just here and there, 1 or 2 tournaments. There's a lot of chatter from the sideline here. A lot of contact as well. Going deep, a huge grab by Brokaka. Out to space. And Germany work it up the field. 5-4 now the gap. Germany still down. A couple breaks. And fast and furious defense from Colombia as well. I don't know if you could tell there, but there was a lot of one-on-one play there. A lot of, not much space actually separated the two teams throughout that point. I apologize if I got some names wrong there, or the one I did say. Good feedback on stream still running. I'm going to be having the updated schedule available later today. So good question by Leo. By the way, good to see you on the stream again. Watching. What do I mean by hacking? There appear to be very tight marks, slapping at the hands. At least that's what the next gen commentator, so this might be a little bit of hearsay, we're saying. Pole saying that it landed in and then rolled out. A little bit of discussion. Chat from the sideline, and it's going to be coming to the brick. Both Mo and Aaron on the fields, brothers. Repole called. And this game is getting serious. German line absolutely sure. That pole landed in and then went out. Very precise overall. Expectation. So another good pull. Comes in on the corner and the defense is right there. That's fantastic. Move to the far side. Lots of pressure. I certainly feel like there might be a spirit timeout coming soon in this game. And they're saying he's out. In either case, it's been intercepted. And that's the point. The Germans get a break back. So instead of a Callahan, it's an almost Callahan. And 5s. Been a lot of body contact, a lot of pushing each other, a lot of frustration. I hope you can see it on the stream. If not, it might be lost on the nuance. The nuances might be lost on the video quality. But make no qualms, it is a battle out there. An absolute battle. In an earlier game, there were issues as well. So this is our third Colombian game in a row on the center pitch. We started with the mixed team, followed by the women's team, and now the open squad. So if you're in Colombia, you're welcome. Hope you're enjoying it, but I do want to highlight a few things, and I mean absolutely no harm by any of this, but
Deutschland! Deutschland ist da! Deutschland ist da!
teams are taking themselves maybe a little bit too seriously. Seems to be composure that could be had, and they do get themselves fired up, but there seems to be, and I really want to try and ensure that we avoid it, but some animosity starting to develop as part of this, and I think it's more cultural differences and calmness that needs to be developed. This game, though, has settled down again.
Alle dazwischen! Alle dazwischen!
Sideline's much more cooperative as well. Good take high, 2 hands, a good undercut. And a call, probably some contact on the disc. This is open, it does happen. It's not going to be an issue. Travel is being called. Travel is called, and I think a high release flick. That's what's called for here. Reset. Oh, and a good break. And tent being blown away with a big gust of wind as Colombia makes it 6. Just gonna do a quick check on the condition of equipment. How are we doing down there, Ian? Anything knocked off? Okay, cool, thank you. That's a big gust of wind there. Perhaps wrecking a few tents. Anyhow, this game has settled down. Both teams, I think the coaches might have had a chat with them just very briefly, or the coaches of the two teams might have had a quick chat. They're continuing to chat, ensuring the character of the game is good. And there's a chat you can kind of see going on the far sideline where they're talking about the body contact, what works, what doesn't, and they shake hands, they go on, and that's great to see. I'm much more comfortable now with this game, and if you were watching at home and were concerned at all, or you weren't, seems to be well recognized and handled by the coaches and players. Space to the middle. OI, lots of room. Continued, lots of room. Down the sideline. Hander space, going to man. A little bit of, wants to OI it. Okay, sorry, I would want to OI it. Move to the middle. This is a dangerous spot now because there are options. Over the top. Oh, and just, that was a bail pass as well. There was excellent coverage on the dump. And Germany keep it close. 6-6. Now the score. And Germany's had trouble with those dump passes. Colombia's been playing very well on that dump. And I think we need to, or Germany at least, needs to work on that a little bit. Mateos, if you're watching, the bottleneck really is our internet connection, and unfortunately, that can't be improved at this time. It might be in the future. We've done some excellent streams before where the internet has not been an issue, and it might just be you need to change our provider and go to some other internet provider. NextGen has switched to another one. Unfortunately, it can't exactly do that. Now, you are shocked about quality. That's okay, because this game will be on YouTube later. I believe I did start the recording. And expect another big pull here. Oh, and it is a beauty. And it's going to be floating in. And you can see the defense there just on the sideline. It's and a bit of an error, and that allows a lot of movement across field. And foul on the mark there, reaching for the disc. Good try. Pick called in the middle. This is going to go back, all the way back. Or travel. Good lefty up, and that break did it. And Colombia offense keeps on rolling. 7-6. Now, if you are having quality issues, depends if you're watching on a mobile device or iPad or on Flash. Flash appears to be a little bit better in terms of quality. We're not putting out a very high frame rate, about 15 frames per second right now. We're also not as tight in as the next gen folks are. If we upgrade equipment and get more people, then we can actually get closer and you can see the faces and names and things like that. But that's a number or orders of production that's up from where we are at this time. We'll get there though. Yeah, Bobo, you're watching from home. Good to see you. Yeah, I was about to say that. That foul that was there from the Germans reaching for the disc. It's intentional. You can see them reaching, but it's not doing anything other than stopping the play and the movement. And yes, you could stop some flow, but most of the time, the close defense, the separation isn't that great to actually warrant anything. And here's the issue. We both know time, or we all know time and distance are related. If you're running full out and there's 2 meters or 1 meter separating you, that's next to no time. But if you're going to start from a standstill and there's 1 or 2 meters separating you, that's quite a distance. That's a lot of time separating you now. Taken carefully, but no continuation there. Waiting to get it back to the handlers. And there we go. There's a nicely taken high pass. And the German O as well, efficiently makes it 7. Still down a break though. And here's the issue. There was quite a few times there where there wasn't a continuation with an upfield. And once that starts to develop, we should see an even more efficient offense. Wind strong, starting to go down. Tomorrow it should be about 10 kilometers an hour from the east. Right now it's from the north, but I can feel it starting to warm, and it's going to shift. See, the clouds are also moving.
Was it generally cheaper? Oh yeah, it was like €1 or 2. Yeah, like I think most. Yeah.
Conversation below me amongst some folks watching, talking about it being a little bit chippy, or other games being a little bit chippy. Now that just goes into the stands and is lost forever to everyone. A new game disc will be needed. Valiant effort to go and rescue it, but they're gonna have to go up and over and under. New game being brought in, or disc being brought in. So we'll be coming to the middle. You see upfield, pretty much inline, unders. The 2 sides are unders. The mids are inline. Oh, and he was looking away. He was looking away when that happened. Now Germany with a shot. One brother to another, then to a friend. Goes deep. Oh, and a beautiful lefty. And Germany recovers their break. It's now 8-7. The character of this game, by the way, has become much more pure, much more fluid in movement. Both teams have started to become comfortable with each other. It's very good to see. Let's see what Colombia can do here, because they had a very good offensive point last time they were out. Well, not this one, the one before though. And they need to hold now. So this game now at the point. I've only been playing about an hour, and I really like this lineup that Colombia does. They're holding the line. And they can adjust very quickly to go to a point on the field. So they're not giving away what position a player is going to be playing. It's going to be a loud sideline from Germany. It's going to be a big pull. Germany playing quite a few of their same players again and again. Will fitness be an issue in the second half? That's a big pull. It's going to come down deep in the end zone. Swung in the, lots of pressure on. Ooh, good grab. Needs more pressure. And there's a foul. Now Colombia's worked it out of their end zone. That's good. Now Huck coming. Oh. It needs to switch. And they do. Frustration from the German coach because Colombia's moving it very quickly. Now that's a bit of a dirty, kind of a lot of hands there, reaching. Fouled to 0. Few breaks, and these breaks are really creating the space, opening it up. And well kept in. A lot of end zone to work with. Flipped in, and Colombia maintain. 8-8. Just updating our video settings here to give perhaps a little bit of a better image quality. Germany needs to keep this energy going. They have an offensive point now. They get it, they play, they take half. And a timeout being called by Colombia. Taking a good timeout here ahead of half. If they get the break, they take half. If Germany continue to have an efficient offense, they take half. Mariel, do you know what number Camilo is? If you do, then I will let you know whether he's playing or not. I'm going to pop downstairs very quickly. Going to check on the equipment and be right back.
You know, Cody's such a. I don't know, like he became such a bitch after we left Oregon, like his senior year. What was to say? You have to. Dad, did you think he was like?
Kept calling violations on that stupid shit in our scrimmage game. Like,
Listen. Yeah, as Ryan. Yeah, that's what I said. After we left Oregon. Yeah, they were right. I don't think he did it. It was more like
And we're back. Everything looking pretty decent. 8-8.
But in the way that he does it, he's so condescending.
What I'm going to look to do, probably for the next game, is increase the frame rate slightly. Good deep pull. This is a good zone in the middle. And now going to man. Left open on the right hand side. And now ooh, and that's dangerous. Oh, wow. Huck, this is a good air battle. Oh, that was interesting, I would say. Missed the first one. Just goes up with the left. That, or with his right hand. Germans start out the second half with a deep pull and create the turn. Now with the offset stack, oh, great strategy. And they start out the second half with a break. 10-8, the score. Those German pulls have been excellent, without a doubt. Flying and floating deep into the end zone. The speed allowing the players to get right onto the mark very quickly. So 10-8, another deep pull, and this one's floating, and the defense is right on. That's excellent, right outside the line. And a bit of an error there. Player left, put on the sideline. Looking at Huck. Yeah, that's a good fake. But there's a call. Way back.
Enger dazwischen, die Waffe nicht lang! Die Waffe nicht lang!
10-8.
Komm, Rocket! Malte, gib ihm! Malte, komm! Körper, Jungs, Körper! Malte, ableihen! Malte, ableihen! Malte, spring! Dazwischen, Johannes!
They're streaking up. And there's a foul called. A small stoppage. Starting to very gentle winds here, as you can see. But swirling a little bit. As in going in different directions. And to the ground, and unmarked. This is a dangerous handler. And he's also a dangerous receiver, probably the MVP. Good decision not to move it onwards. The older brother now. To the younger brother. Great chemistry. There's no call. Stall count's just running. But there's a pick now, or no. Still going. Oh, over the top. And Germany break again. 11-8. Oh, no, actually, that's being called back. I think it's coming on stall 4-5. Oh, and that is beautiful as well. Oh, fantastic throws. 11-8. Germany up. A number of breaks now. Colombia getting fired up. And a timeout called. Hey, Brian. Brian. Just gonna try and hit the garbage can from up here. Oh, missed it. Thank you. Germany amped up. Colombian coaches chatting with the sideline versus the line separately. The line, that's offensive line, will be receiving it, was having a different discussion. The other coach chatting about the support that they need to give to their team. And their team does need support right now. Needs to be more active, They need to be louder than the Germans, if anything. Because so far, the Germans, with fewer players, have been much, much louder. It's a deep pull. The pressure is on. There's a call. And there's discussion now about the pushing that's going on. And there was a pig call. And the Germans bringing a lot of very physical, being very physical here, but the Colombians are also being very physical back. They're leaning and pushing off, and the Germans are leaning and pushing off as well. No options, going deep. And this is going to go to the ground. And the German D got another shot to break. And probably the most dangerous man on the field, picking it up. Has lots of room. Lasered in. And wide open with lots of hard running, and he drops it. This has been his first error all game. Telling the sideline he wants to hear them. It's really low, goes to the ground, and it's a turnover. And it's going deep. Oh, misread by the receiver. He thought he needed to come back in. By the Germans now, back to where they were at the beginning of the point, as are the Colombians. But once again, the Germans louder. And that throw not working. Frustration. And just bobbled out of the hands. Nobody running to the disc to send it. Wow, that was a nice pass. And travel called. Saying he's running across and changing direction. Good steady mark. Rod's hang of time. Look at that speed that came across. Tries for it. And the Colombians hold. That was a good point. 11-9. Colombia trails, but now have a few shots. Quite a few handling errors there by the Germans. Uncharacteristic. They've been playing the whole game. They've been practically on every single point. They're going to be taking a break now, but when that line gets back on, it's generated, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 turns minimum this game, if not more. I think that might even be too low. That point alone, there were 4 at a minimum. And the wind is, it's there, but not too much or too hard to be of much concern. When this pole, also a big one. And it's out. It's going to go to the brick. Going the horizontal, you can see the Colombians in line, but mostly deep coverage. And they've got a good poach. Oh, and just in motion, flick huck. Taking comfortably, but there's a call. There's a pick call. Checking if it affected play or when it was. Having a conversation. Little bit of confusion here. Chatting about what's going on. So saying it might not have affected play. If that's the case, well, you know the rules there better than I do. But the Colombians walking off a little bit, but they're going to bring in the translators. I find it impressive that they are taking the time to do this, and it's nice to see. I've had a number of conversations and being, at least in my youth, was adamant about the need of observers, but that was for realizing that there were those that were able to have civil discussion, and if I just took the time to calm down and then have a conversation, or didn't let myself be amped up, that we'd be in relatively good shape. We joke from time to time about observers in WFDF, but quite honestly, I think about all we need is to ensure everyone knows the rules, at least at this stage. But perhaps there need to be penalties for continued violation of the rules. But that's not for me to decide. Sends it. Lady, there was a change in direction in a blind spot. And that caused a turn. The German offense now needs to get the turn. Looking to huck it. Off balance, throw finds its mark. And bobbled and turnover. Setting up a little bit calmly now. It looks to be a vertical stack. 5-2 setup. That's actually a little bit of a split stack. There's a call on the disc that renders all this juking moot. Oh, it's good D, but there's an injury. player was landed on, and that's always tough on the ankles and knees. Seems to be okay though. No mark. Straight up. Looking to send it. Does. It's Blady. That looks to be good. Says not in. Lots of options. And the push pass turned on the line. German offense get it back about where they started. There's lots of open space. Another under. No, but it's going deep. Centered. Too many options. And then the German offense keeps it steady. 12-9. The D, lots of time to rest. Juan Sebastian, do we have zoom on this camera? Yes, but the zoom is jerky. I can't really control it too well. It's not refined like a pro camera would have. This is, as I said previously, a $90 camera. Why? Because can't really afford to break it if it breaks here. Deep pull, but this time the Colombian offense working better. Have the option deep, it's Blady. And short, foul called. Coming right back. And another foul. Now, I've worked with professional cameras before and had a few, and they have a slide zoom in many ways, which you can just set to a point and they zoom to that point. Much more controllable, much more professional. And usable, really. Oh, this D's looking tired. And that offense delivers. 12-10. Now the score. So good question about how teams actually have conversations, speaking different languages and explain dispute calls.
Auf der Seite musst du auch den Insight zuhören. Du kannst ja nicht einfach nur hören. War gut.
And traditionally what happens is that the international language of Ultimate, the common language I would say, not the international, is English. Now regionally we do see different languages being used, and say when Colombia played Venezuela yesterday in mixed, they did their stall counts in Spanish, so as always everyone can agree to their own rules, but typically stall counts are done in English here. So not really much of an issue. And then the major calls, pick, foul, things like that are done in English, so you can very much people know the basis. Now, good pull here. There was a call from a German player for violation or calling for a repull because of but don't seem to need it. Ooh, that pass, a bit interesting. A timeout called. In a good position, but there was a call for a repull. So things like timeout, said in English. There's few words, probably around 6 or 7 at most, that are necessary in order to call the major calls. Aside than that, a quick hey, 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 or stop, stop, stop can also signify an issue. And stop is really universally recognized to mean stop. It's also very important for the sideline not to make calls or use words that are used as part of the game. So it's considered bad form, at least I consider bad form, to yell double or double team from the sideline when then that's an actual play on and a call that could be made on the field, or yelling pick from the sideline when a pick hasn't been called on the field to imply that you could pick, or certain conditions or disc space, things like that. So how do they actually resolve disputes? Everyone tries and makes motions with their hands. That's what I've seen. And then every team, the managers or the coaches, they speak English well enough, and typically very well, that the representatives from each team come in and translate. And sometimes only one will come in because they will be able to speak in English and they will translate to English what the thoughts of their player are. And they will simply act as a translator and go in between and try to be very fair about that. At least that's what I've seen. And I think that's one of the things I love about our sport, is just how fair we try to be. Which is why I get very protective when I see certain hacking or slashing or things like that. And not necessarily just hacking and slashing, but contesting those sort of things. Not that I've seen it here so far. Or when I see dangerous plays and people noting that, well, I got to the disc first. Well, that's not the point. When you jump, there's a whole series of criteria along with that jump about jumping through open space, ensuring your landing area is clear. And a lot of these things are lost because it's not necessarily well taught. Colombia coming out here with kind of a spread coverage. And it's a split stack. It's going to be reset. Oh, good grab. Lots of pressure. Oh, and the height advantage. And Germany, that's an important point. 13-10. As I said, these two teams now comfortable with each other. Dispute resolution going very well. Number of disputes have gone down. It's been relatively minor infractions or presumed infractions. Really think there's not enough Colombian energy on the sideline. When they came in, they ran in as a group about 30 minutes before their game in 2 lines into the stadium area, chanting Colombia. Stopped about at midfield, again off the field, and then had a quick chat and huddle. Went through as a group, sang together, and then they've had loud sidelines to the point where they were actually shushing the sidelines a little bit with a shh, and none of that's happening anymore. This pull lands and stays in. Pressure's on right away, and this is what we've seen. A lot of jogging. And a turn, this slips out. And the most dangerous man on the field stands over it. And another break by Germany. 14-10. They break quickly, and that one's unfortunate. Just slipped out of the player's hands. As I was saying, Colombia's energy not as high as before. Germany started strong and loud and has kept it loud and strong. And they're keeping it. I don't know if you can pick up on it, but they are constantly yelling at each other. And you could probably pick up that up on our field mic. It's the most dangerous man. Gets his team amped up. And it's a big pull by his younger brother, or sorry, his older brother. I think it's his older brother, yes. Looking deep. There are deep options. And looking for an in-cut now. Oh, a poach D. Fantastic and moved quickly. And needs an end zone. It's very crowded. Cloud passing overhead. Oh, and that he got a little bit lucky on, and he knows it. And Germany break again, 15-10. Believe that was Aaron throwing the disc. Mo, the most dangerous man in the red hat, Aaron in blue. Miranda Cole, thanks for watching. I'll have an updated schedule for you tomorrow. I kind of know what it is, but until it's official, I can't publicize it. About the GB game, check our Facebook events page. Steve, Chris, get back to work or I'll tell your boss. And by the way, we still need to raise money for our rocket. And Rose, yes, Steve and I are going to build a rocket that goes to space. It might only carry something small, but we're going to build one. Big pull from Mo. I sure hope I'm not confusing the brothers. deep in the end zone. And it's the poles. These are incredible poles, well ranged, that are causing the Colombians so much trouble. Normally you have dump space to work with, and now they do. They have space, and there's a break, and it's a good break, and lots of space, and 2 players free deep. Oh, this should be an easy take. And Colombian offense moves it well, gets out of a jam, and makes it 15-11. And there's a huddle in the midfield where Mo is chewing his line out, saying we need to do better. There is no way that 2 guys should be as deep on us as they were. My goodness, would I like to put a mic on that man and listen to everything he's saying when he's out on the field. I think that's what we need to work on next. What do you folks think? Miking up players. I'd also like to get a camera on them so we can see what they're seeing as they run around. That's what we'll do in the future. Technology will get us there. And German offense now on the field, 15-11. This game running a little bit behind. The next game on this pitch shall be will be actually, I believe, on the Next Gen Network. Another deep pull, and this is a good one as well. And the Colombians have also been putting them back, the Germans back in the end zone. Good fake, created the space, but didn't take the follow-up. And all these passes excellent. Space, looking to huck it, no option. Slipped up into the middle. Dealing with space, saying dump it, swing it. And a huck to the end zone. Lots of time. Oh, and taken well. 16-11, Germany leads. And the energy staying high on the German side. Of course it should. They're leading. They're comfortable. But they continue to drive hard. There were great in cuts from the horizontal stack there. Colombia now, unfortunately, needs to score 6 in a row. Get this O, and then 5 breaks to win the game. It's been a tough game for them. Germany came out physical. They've gone back a little bit, not being as physical anymore. I agree with you, Moritz. It's impossible to tell who is who, and I will do better to get player names to you, at least to those who scored in subsequent streams, especially the one that's coming up later today. You can check that out on our Facebook page. And yeah, good pull by Germany. It's deep. And they have a player on the back line. So coming up will be Switzerland versus Australia in the open division. That'll be at 1700, 5 p.m. Next is Japan versus Great Britain in open. Interception by Mo. Timeout called. Last point of the game, possibly. And they're going to set this up. And Stahl's probably going to be coming on 3 or 4. They're going to need to reset the count. So coming up next on the Next Gen stream will be Great Britain versus Japan Open. And that's where you'll be able to see the faces and numbers right now. On my stream here at I Am Ultimate, the next game will be, following that, will be Switzerland versus Australia Open. And on that game, I will be saying who's catching the disc in the end zone and who's throwing it, and possibly a bit more. I'll learn more about the players as the game progresses. And Japanese players filtering in as they prepare to take on Great Britain. That game will be coming up soon. Disc is in, looking for the reset, and 10, disc is down. He's going deep, right away. Colombia very quickly. Oh, and Mo brings it, sends it the other way. It's a high floater. There's time, there's space, and it's knocked down. Taking it a little bit too high, perhaps. And another deep throw, and once again, the player's wide open. Throw probably came because of that, and then the dump pass. A little bit too quick. Mo wants to get this done with. And there's a call. And batted away. Over top throw. Not successful. Number 19. A lot of good dump coverage here. He's going to go deep. Down the line. Goes to the ground. Aaron Brooklacker going to be picking up the disc. Centered. Trip is called. It's going to be contested. It's going to go back. Disc goes back to Johans. Number 67.
Johnny, send someone in to flip with them. Send one of the DB guys in to flip with them.
Dump. Florian with disc. He's going to send it. Mo reads it well because it was short. And he turns it. A little bit too cute. And it was got pushed down by the wind. He's been used to bouncing it the other way. Needed to OI it into the end zone. Timeout called by Colombia. Yeah, Price, I agree with you. They might coach us in the NBA, but you just get boring, sanitized stream. You really think I'm going to censor anyone here? Probably not. It's a passion we have for our sport. And in our sport. I think everyone's willing to share that. Next Gen getting ready for the next game between GB and Japan. That one is going to start quickly because they're going to start flipping it soon. Colombia holding out against Germany, who have had several chances. And more errors made than expected. Mo talking to his D-line. Aaron pitching in blue hat. German coach talking about the sideline support because it's gotten a little bit quiet from Germany. Horizontal stack showing from Colombia. Christian was the intended recipient there. Aaron picks up the disc. Great D by Colombia. Samuel to Aaron. It's floated out to space. Bobbled a little bit, but taken by David. And that's the game. Germany win 17-11. A tough match. Yes, a tough match indeed. Keys to the game, Germany's defense. That's it. The German D there, phenomenal. Deep pulls in the end zone and getting them stuck there. And of course, the most dangerous man on the field, Mo, coming up huge, throwing away a few, yes, admittedly, but very confidently moving the disc. Anyhow, we're now going to turn over coverage to Next Gen for Great Britain versus Japan.
What a game happening.
Join us again for in 2 hours
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're roasting in the
for
sun, the beer garden is open.
Switzerland
I
versus
repeat,
Australia in the
beer
Open
garden
Division.
is
That will be our last broadcast
Come
of the
on
day.
down, have some fantastically crisp, golden, beautiful steam whistle pilsners on tap.